Welcome back, friends. Let's continue after your examination. The next chapter, that is the term 2's part, the chapter 4 for your NCERT book, carbon and its compound. Okay, and this is also the chapter number 4 for our chemistry also. So, in this particular chapter, we are going to discuss about the carbon element. Okay, this particular main chapter has a theme which is based on the carbon element. Also, we will here talk about the covalent bond. What is a covalent bond? Why the covalent bonds are formed? And how to represent a covalent bond. Okay. And which kind of covalent bonds are formed by the carbon? Means how we can relate the carbon compounds which are using the covalent bonding in order to form the different types of carbon compounds. Okay. And after that we will see the versatile nature or the properties of carbon. Okay, the versatile nature of the carbon, which makes it one of the important element. Okay, versatile nature of carbon, which makes it one of the important element among us. Also, in the further part of the chapter we will study about the homologous series. Okay, homologous series. What is a homologous series? How we are going to define the homologous series? What are the carbon compounds which are going to be defined in this homologous series? Okay, all these things will be present in this particular chapter. So let's start this chapter with a very simple discussion about why a covalent bond is formed. So the first thing we are going to discuss today is about the covalent bonds and why we are why we are forming a covalent bond, why the covalent bonds are formed in the nature. Okay. So first thing, in the last chapter we have studied about the ionic bonds. Ionic bonds, or they were also called as, they were also named as electrovalent bond also. Okay. So once I am recapping or recalling for you what are ionic bonds or covalent bonds, when an element loses or gains certain number of electrons, when an element loses or gains certain number of electrons to form cation or anion. Cations means a positively charged ion. Anion means a negatively charged ion. Okay, cation or anion, to attain their nearest inert gas configuration. Inert gas or noble gas configuration is called electrovalency. This particular method or this particular property of an element to lose or gain electron. Okay, certain number of electrons, to lose or gain certain number of electrons to form the ions. And ions are also of two types, that is, if it is forming a positive ion then it will be a cation, and if it is forming a negative ion then it will be an anion. Okay, so if they are forming a cation or an anion, to attain, why they are forming this cation or anion, why they are losing or gaining the electrons, in order to attain their nearest inert gas or noble gas configuration, and this particular property is termed as the electrovalency. Okay, the chemical bond, okay, the chemical bond formed between cation and anion due to an electrostatic force of attraction between them is called uh, an ionic bond, or electrovalent bond. Electrovalent bond. Okay, so here in this particular ionic bond or electrovalent bond, they were losing or gaining electrons. Okay, in order to form the cations and anions. When these cations or anions were formed, let us say M is an cation and N is an anion. So due to presence of electrostatic force of attraction between them, okay, between this plus and minus charge, there will be a present there will be occur a electrostatic force of attraction, and these both will come near to each other. Okay, they will come near to each other to form a compound Mn. Okay, and this compound will be termed as an ionic compound or electrovalent compound, and this particular bond which is formed between them due to this electrovalent force, it will be termed as an this chemical bond will be termed as an ionic bond or electrovalent bond. Now here the elements are eligible or they are able to lose or gain their electrons. Okay, and this is present, this particular thing is happening due to the electronegativity electronegativity of the anions. Okay, means the anions are having the enough electronegative power in order to attract the electrons from the metals or the cations from to in order to form the anions by the electronegative elements. Okay, so what is this electronegativity? Electronegativity is nothing other than the tendency to attract electrons. Okay, this particular nature is termed as the electronegativity. So this electronegativity, it means what? It means the tendency to attract the electrons. Okay, so an element which is able to attract the electrons towards itself. Okay, to attract the electron towards itself, it will be termed as what? It will be termed as electronegative element. And here both these elements means an element which can form a cation and element which can form an anion, they both have the tendency to lose or gain the electrons. But in the some of the cases we will see that elements, let's say an element is A and an element is B. Here both this element A and B, they are having the same electronegativity, or they both are equally electronegative. They both are means they both are equally electronegative. Okay, so here what will happen? They will not be able to lose or gain the electrons, but still they are forming the chemical bonds. Okay, but still they are forming the chemical bonds. So how they can form the chemical bonds there? When the electronegativity is not that much between this A and B in order to lose or gain electrons, then how they can form the chemical bonds here? So here a new phenomena has been derived out, and this particular phenomena is termed as the covalent chemical bond. Covalent chemical bond. Okay, so first thing that comes into mind is that why the covalent chemical bonds are formed. So the covalent chemical bonds are formed due to the lacking of the nature that the two elements or two or more elements which are combining with each other, they are not able to lose or gain electrons between them. Okay, so if they are not able to lose or gain electrons, so they will not be possible. It will not be possible to form the positive ions or negative ions. Okay, and if it is not possible to form the positive ions and negative ions, then it will be very difficult to form the chemical compounds there, and hence we will see that they will be they will not be able to form the compounds there, but we are seeing that they are forming the compounds. It means that they are having some other phenomena that is not following the electrovalency or electrovalent compounds phenomena. Okay, so that particular phenomena is termed as the covalent bond. So let's discuss about this covalent bond. So generally, what is a covalent bond? Okay, so the elements which are unable to lose or gain electrons, okay, the elements which are unable to lose or gain electrons to form ionic bonds share the electrons between them which are having suitable force of attraction from all the atoms sharing electrons. Okay, from all the atoms sharing electrons, and is called covalent bonds. The tendency of an atom, the tendency of an atom to share a certain number of electrons with other atom is called covalency. It is termed as what? It is termed as the covalency of that particular atom. Okay, so for example, if I am taking an example here, when two hydrogen atoms, okay, let's take an example for two hydrogen atoms. So we know that each hydrogen atom is containing how much electrons? They are containing one electrons only. Okay, so in order to attain their nearest inert gas configuration, okay, in order to attain their nearest inert gas configuration, they require only one electron. So if this particular two hydrogens can share both their electrons with each other, okay, if they can share both the electrons with each other, then it will be possible for them to attain the nearest inert gas configuration, that is of the helium, which is 2. Okay, so this particular bond which is formed with this particular sharing of electron between these two hydrogen atom, in order to attain their nearest inert gas configuration, that is the electronic configuration of the helium, is called formation of the covalent bond. And here we can see that only one electrons per atom is being shared out here. Okay, only one atom for each hydrogen is being shared here. So it will be termed as a single covalent bond. It will be termed as what? It will be termed as a single covalent bond. Similarly, single covalent bond can also be observed in the case of the chlorine. So in order to discuss this particular sharing, we will use the Lewis dot structure. So for chlorine, the Lewis dot structure is having how many? 7 electrons in their outermost shell. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Similarly here also 7 electrons in their outermost shell for the chlorine. Here these two chlorines will share one electron per atom with each other, with one more chlorine atom, in order to form a single covalent bond between two chlorine atoms. Okay, it is termed as H2. It will be termed as Cl2. Okay, here one electron has been shared, therefore it is also forming a single covalent bond. Okay, and here the electronic configuration of each chlorine atom has reached out, after sharing of electron, they have reached out their nearest electronic configuration, that is for the argon, which is 1818. Okay, so here we have seen that the chlorine, hydrogen, they are forming which kind of single covalent, they are forming which kind of covalent bond? They are sharing one electron each atom, and they are forming a single covalent bond. Similarly, when we are talking about oxygen, so one oxygen atom's Lewis dot diagram will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, they are having how much? They are having 6 outermost electrons. Okay, similarly one more oxygen atom can be considered, which is also having how many? 6 electrons. Okay, 6 electrons in their outermost shell. So this is the Lewis dot diagram for two oxygen atoms. So here each of the, in order to complete their octet, okay, they will require two electrons for each atom. So they will share how many electrons? They will share two electrons each atom. And after this sharing of two electrons from each atom, they will complete their octet. Okay, and they will attain the nearest inert gas configuration, that is for the neon. Okay, so here this particular sharing of two electrons between these two oxygen atoms is represented by double covalent bond. It is termed as what? It is termed as double covalent bond. Okay, it is termed as what? It is termed as double covalent bond. Now, this is represented as O2, and they have attained their nearest neon's electronic configuration. Okay, so next is the nitrogen's case. In nitrogen case, we are having how many? We are having 5 outermost electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Similarly here also 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So here each nitrogen atom is short of 3 electrons. They are short of 3 electrons in order to complete their octet. So here the sharing of electron between the two nitrogen atom will take place, but each nitrogen atom will share how many? They will share 3 electron with the other nitrogen atom. Okay, so here 3 electrons are being shared between two nitrogen atoms, and per nitrogen atom is containing how many? They are containing 3 sharing electrons. Okay, so here 3 pairs of bond are formed. Okay, 3 covalent bond pair are formed, which is represented by 3 bond signs between two nitrogen atom, and this is termed as what? This is termed as triple covalent bond. And after sharing this particular 3 electrons per each atom, they, what they have completed? They have completed their nearest inert gas configuration, that is for the neon. Okay, and this particular bond formation is represented as N2. So by forming this kind of covalent bond between two less electronegative atoms, we can form the chemical bonds, and this type of chemical bonds are termed as what? They are termed as covalent bonds. Okay, so these were about the covalent bonds and their types. We have discussed about the covalent bonds and their types, and how covalent bonds are formed. What is the reason why the covalent bonds are formed here? In the next class, we will continue this particular chapter, that is carbon and its compound, and there we will study about the properties of carbon, the versatile nature of carbon, why the carbon is so much important and why it is forming so much compounds in our nature. Okay, we will discuss about this in the next class. For today I am ending the class here only. We will meet in the next class. Thank you.